Alright, so I really want to do a video on this because, well, for one, I want to remember my crazy journey, and whenever someone asks me, how was your trip? I want to be like, well, here's this video, watch it so I don't have to explain it again. Um, well, what happens is I work for a chocolate company that produces chocolate, and our boss is like a single owner. He tries to do everything by himself, and he owns, he runs all the stands and has people out run the stands for him, and I'm delivering to all of those drivers, to all those stands. I'm delivering to them, and so to start off, I was on Monday working a 12-hour shift, and 5 o'clock in the afternoon, they're like, "Hey, hey, would you mind volunteering to drive to Philly to drop off some stuff for us?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Philly and back. That's not too far, and I need the hours." So I'm like, "Yeah, why not?" And I was like, "Oh, so when do you want me to leave?" And they said, "Oh, you need to leave it. You're leaving here at 7." As what? Just 2 hour notice? Oh, yeah, that's fine. Whatever. I'll go. 7 rolls around, and well, I'm going on a 5 hour trip. I need to. I don't want to get there like 5 in the morning, and 8 rolls around, and no one's helping me, and 9 o'clock rolls around, and my shift's just about to end. So right after I'm done doing all the work, I go over. It's like, "Hey, it's like 9:30 now. Am I leaving?" He's like, "Yeah. We're getting you on the road." I'm like, "All right, sweet." Getting on the road, and they give me all this paperwork, all these direction. They give me a list of addresses. I need to stop at each place. There's 8 of them, and while I'm stopping to Philly, now I'm looking here. There's 8 places I have to stop. I'm like, whatever. I That's more hours for me. I'll take it. And they said, you could find a person to go with you, and we'll pay whoever's not driving $6 an hour. I'm like, yo, I don't want to get $6 an hour anytime. I'm trying to get my full hourly rate all the way through. So I haphazardly went, asked a couple friends, but I really strongly wanted to go by myself, and I did. So I left around 9:30, and now I'm on the interstate. I'm like, wow, these headlights on this truck are awful. And also, this is one of the trucks that doesn't have a back window. You can only see into the front, and you have to use your mirrors, which I have no problem with. But the headlights are awful. The high beams looked like normal headlights, and also the windshield was terribly dusty, and there's no windshield wiper fluid. But oh well. As long as I'm not under a light, it doesn't bother me, and it really didn't bother me too much at all for the whole entire trip. But anyhow, driving to Philly, and I went on Priceline before I left, found a pretty good hotel, and I got to that hotel at maybe like 4 in the morning, and well, the office wasn't open. And that's where I screwed up. I should like called the place beforehand and made sure there was a place to stay for me. So I screwed up there, and I didn't mind. But so I was like, well, you know what? Well, I'm just gonna go to this hotel next. And there were so many hotels on that street. I just went down the line to ones I thought would be a decent price, and nope, nobody's was there at the office. Even the ones that had open on their sign. So I said, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna go right to my destination in Montgomeryville. So I get there. There's a hotel right across from where I'm supposed to be, and I was like, well, I might as well just try there, see what they have to offer. And well, he's like, we have this for $116, a good deal. And I was like, all right, yeah, I'll take it. And then they're like, oh, we actually don't have any rooms available. So it'll cost you a lot more. So I shit. And I had to go somewhere else. And she gave me a place, and the place was actually really good. I ended up staying there for 2 days, and I had a good deal. So I'm getting to bed here at like 4:30, and I wake up to a call from my boss telling me around like 9:30. It's like, hey, where you at? I was like, oh yeah, I'm right across from um the destination. He's like, oh, have you dropped anything off yet? I was like, nah, I recently got to Philly. I just woke up. I really want to be safe on the road. And he said that's fine or whatever. And I went and dropped off my package. I went to the loading dock, and so I asked him, like, hey, I have this order for chocolate moonshine, and they had no idea what I was talking about. Like, yeah, you have like a chocolate moonshine stand in your store, and they had no idea. They said they'd never heard of it, which it's in your store. You should have heard of it, but whatever. I left a note, and then I went to my next stop. But I'm gonna get a call from my boss for my second stop. He says, you know what? We're really cutting it short on time here. Everything for the second stop, just drop it off at your third stop, and they'll get it themselves. I said, oh, all right, that's fine. I get to this stop anyway. It's King of Prussia. It's a huge mall, one of the biggest in America, and there's no places to park. And in the parking garages they're like 7-foot clearance, which some people couldn't even walk, and this vehicle's 9 feet, so that wasn't gonna work. Wandered around trying to avoid people and traffic, and eventually I found the valet parking, which I assume I probably wasn't allowed to park at it, but I didn't care at that point. I was right by the store, and I needed to deliver stuff, so I called my boss. It's like, oh, so where am I going? This mall's huge. He's like, oh, I'll give you someone's number, and he gives me their number, and I call them, and they're like, I'm actually not at the store. It's by Macy's. I can give you this person's number because they're working right now. So he did, and eventually I followed this person's directions, and I got to the store. But I was on the third floor by the Macy's, and trying to find it. I didn't see anything. But this person, they take me down 2 flights of stairs, and there's still a Macy's right there. So I was just like in shock. That was a 3-story Macy's. But then we get the order. It was smooth. The girl was really nice, and the guy was really nice too. And we did business, signed the receipt, and I was off. And I was getting hungry, so there was like a little Auntie Anne's booth there, and I went up there. No one was there. I said hello in a fairly loud voice. No one answered. I waited around for about a minute, and right, I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm leaving. Right as I was leaving, a girl just popped her head out of the little back doorway and stared. I think she was right about to say and ask if she could help me, but by that point I was like, you know, I'm gonna teach you a lesson. Yeah, I waited. No, I didn't get any customer service, so I'm leaving. Yeah, so then I said, yeah, screw that. So I haven't had a meal. So far, I haven't had a meal probably since my lunch break yesterday, and now it's Monday around 11, 12, and the boss calls me and he's like, yeah, I need you to skip the 4th and 5th stop and go straight to the 6th stop because we're on short on time. And so I did that. And also, while I was talking to him on the phone, I was like, you know, Chris, I'm getting really hungry. And he's like, oh, yeah, just let's go get some fast food. We're running so short on time. I was like, in my mind, I was like, you know, low quality yields low performance, right? But I just kind of agreed with him. And on my way to the 6th stop. And I'm kind of not proud of this, but I was at one of them little service plazas on the side of the interstate, and usually, so yeah, I went in, ordered a sub, and they handed it to me. I never even paid for it. They handed it to me. I was like, oh, okay, I'll take it. Yeah, that's what I ordered, and they never asked me to pay for it. Looking around, like to see, is like, is there somewhere where I should pay for this? And no one helped me out, so I was like, oh, screw it. I'm in a huge hurry. I gotta leave. So I kind of stole a sub from there, but I I really didn't. I was just in such a hurry, and no one asked. So I kind of look at it as I am exposing flaws in their system, and because of me exposing these flaws, they will make their business better because of it. So I'm trying to look at the positives and trying to look at myself as not being the bad person. But anyhow, after that I continued. I got to that sixth stop, and it's also a Wegmans, which is the same store as the first one I went to. So I did the exact same thing I did there. And later I figured out the people, they were kind of mad because they didn't. The people that were working the stand didn't know. So from now on, and all the other stores I went to their table and made sure they knew and wrote a note if they weren't there. And then then I was gonna go to my seventh stop, and the boss says, "Oh no, we don't have time for seventh stop. Just go straight to A stop, which is in Brooklyn, New York." And don't even get me started on that drive. It take me like it would take me an hour to go an hour to go less than 20 miles, and it was all crowded. And I'm just glad I made it there without hitting anyone. The person from the seventh stop came to me, so I didn't have to go there at all. And at this stop, I picked up all the plastic that's supposed to be for the chocolate, and the boss, after that, he wanted me to go back to all the stops that I've been to and re-deliver the plastic. So it's like I could have just done that to begin with instead of doing all this extra running around. But I didn't care. I'm getting paid by the hour. Picked up all the stuff and exited. Gave her the stuff while while the warehouse people were getting and processing our order of plastic. I cleaned out the van. I found so much crap in that van. I found a half-eaten breakfast sandwich and all kinds of old papers, and it was bad. And I hope he appreciates me cleaning out his van. It was disgusting. Then anyhow, so since I have to go back to every other stop, I'm going back to my sixth stop, and I get there, the table's still there. I apologize. I was like, "Yeah, sir, I'm so sorry that I didn't let you guys know." And he was like, "Oh yeah, that's fine. Just next time it's all good." And he's like, "Yeah, that dude's really scatterbrained, and you gotta like." He told me like I gotta set the parameters with him, or he'll try to set them for me. So I definitely took a piece of advice from him. Then from there, I had the fifth and fourth stop I missed. It's kind of good that I missed them now because I would have had to go back anyway. I had to deliver things to them, and that went pretty smooth. And I didn't have to go back to my third stop, which was really nice. I just had that first stop to go to, and I get there around 1:30 and back to my hotel by 2. And I'm at my hotel. I'm like actually able to get 8 hours of sleep because I could sleep from 2 to 10. And it's funny, my boss said like I could go home now, or I could just sleep over and go home right in the morning. So I'm going to bed. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna wake up at 10, maybe chill around Montgomeryville here for a little bit, and then go straight home. It's all this time in the world. Then I get woken up by another text. He's like, yeah, where you at? I was like, yeah, I'm planning on being on the road by 10, so I get a good 8 hours of sleep. He's like, all right, well, I need you to make another stop in Wilkes-Barre. I was like, oh, yeah, that's fine. This town's like, it's on the way home anyway, so I had to pass it. Let's figure out, I'll just go here, drop this stuff off, come back. It won't be too long. So yeah, I get there, and as I said, these directions they were already a little bit complicated, but I feel like I managed them pretty well. He said they needed some boxes to be held for a guy, and they needed some boxes to go on their van. So I did that, and he said he wanted a rough inventory. And when I said like a rough inventory, this one lady, she's trying to count them all to the bar, which I didn't really need. We just needed to know if we were short any, which we weren't. And so this other girl here, she's only worried about selling, and she's probably right. And they ended up fighting between each other, and we didn't want to make a scene, so that girl walked out and left. And then this girl that's running the store, she's all worried that she's gonna have to drive by herself now. So I was actually spending like 2 hours there, unfortunately, when I could have just been in and out. And I had to take this girl home to Pittsburgh, which is 4 hours away, because she they couldn't get along. Which we had some good conversations, and I really saw her side of the story, and I can sympathize with her. But at the same time, I feel like they could have gotten along better. And so yeah, since she leaves, she goes and waits by the truck that I drove. Um, the the girl that was still there running it had to go to the bathroom, so I was then so then for a while I was in charge of running their little table, which I shouldn't have been, but I did it to help out. And I'm running it. She comes back, and then right before I leave, I somehow get into this conversation with a customer who just wants to explain their whole life story to me. And I don't want to leave because it would look bad on the business, so I listen, and eventually I'm able to find a good time to cut out of it and leave, and I'm able to leave, and then I have to take this girl too. She was really nice, and I was glad that I got to spend time with her and talk to her, and told me a lot about her story and culture. But it got to the point where, like, after like 3-4 hours into it, she was talking nonstop. I was getting really frustrated, and I kind of turned on the radio a little bit, and I don't really. I think she did get the hint eventually. Then we were able to have more conversations that were like not her just talking and talking. But it was funny. Right after I did leave Wilkes Barre, um, he said to go to Ross Park, drop her off, go to the FedEx, and then go home. This was in the morning. He said this, but then at 4 o'clock he changed his mind. And said, "Oh yeah, no, FedEx, they're gonna close at 5. So you look at your GPS and find the nearest FedEx and go there immediately." So she pulls up her phone, finds a FedEx, and we go there. And it's apparently this was like some scam website or something. I don't know, or maybe it was like an old FedEx that's not there anymore. But we go there that address, and well, it's not a FedEx. So I call him back. It's like, yeah, Chris, there's no FedExes around. The closest one's like in 2 hours. It's like, oh, fuck, find a UPS store. So we did. I get to the UPS store. I ask them, hey, what are your rates? And I call them. I say, hey, are these rates all right? And this is after we pulled up there. We rushed to get there before the store closed. We got all the boxes. We brought them in. We had them on the scale. We were right about to ship them off, and I called him. I was like, so these are the rates. And which one do you want? He says, you know what? No, just take all the packages back. I'll deal with it tomorrow. So we did all this running around and for nothing basically. But there was a really good buffet that I wanted to go to anyway in that same plaza, which was a huge coincidence. So we went over there to Du Bois Buffet. If you're ever in the area, it's an amazing buffet. They have so much seafood, chicken, any any normal Asian buffet. It was amazing. And after that, then I head back down 28 to head to Pittsburgh, and I head down there, and I drop her off, and she's telling me all her drama that, like, she's like talking on the phone with her boyfriend to pick her up, and she doesn't want me to say a word because she's afraid that if he hears me, she'll think she's with another man. So it's like, that's so much drama in your life that you got to turn that around, lady. And I get back, I call him back on my way to the outlet mall in Grove City. I call him. I was like, hey, I'm almost there. And he's like, you're dropping stuff off in Pittsburgh, right? I was like, no, you never told me that. So I was like, that's fine. Just drop everything back off at the mall. And so yeah, I get there. I was so lucky someone was in the store cleaning, or else we'd have been screwed. And there's these plastic, just plastic basically, and he wants us to unload it all into the store when we should be delivering it into the warehouse, which is across the street, but we don't have the keys for that. I was like, this is like our truck. Like we didn't have a lock for the back, but still, like, who's gonna steal plastic? So we suggested, hey, we might as well just like leave. We might as well just leave the tr- truck back here with all the plastic in it, so we can just unload it in the morning. It's like, oh no no no, I'm just afraid someone's gonna steal it. I was like, yeah, I really don't think anyone's gonna want to steal plastic. It's like, now if something happens to that, so all of our customers are out for their Christmas orders. And I was like, oh well, I didn't really want to argue with the boss. I went with it, and we put the stuff in the store, and off I went. And I'm gonna say it was actually a good experience. I enjoyed seeing other parts of the state and the country, even though truck driving can be a pain, and you can definitely be scary at times when like you're against really close to a curb. But I made it, and I would volunteer to go again. And it's nice because you don't have like a manager literally standing over you and micromanaging everything you do. And yeah, well, it was definitely a good experience. It is hard, and the fact that you have like I thought I was going down. I was gonna visit all these malls, and I'd have all this free time, and I had no free time. I worked 36 hours in those 3 days, and the one day was only 4. I basically worked 32 hours in 2 days. So, but I'm not complaining. I had a good time, and for anyone who wants to hear my story, that was it.